Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I am going to be going through expenses as a business. So this is literally for a sole trader, sole proprietor. This is so that if you're self-employed, you haven't got a limited company yet, I am going to be going through exactly kind of how to do your monthly expenses without any apps like QuickBooks or Xero or anything like that. Next year they are making tax digital, so everybody is going to have to go on a digital platform. But for now, I think it's really good to get into like a really good habit of doing your monthly expenses. I've been self-employed now for about 10 years, and I've always been fully reliant on a accountant, and I feel like now, because of obviously the COVID situation, it's just made me really aware of spending too much money and kind of just like careless things. That there's different kind of deadlines and stuff like that I didn't even know about, and I actually ended up getting a penalty from Companies House because it was my responsibility to kind of deal with the financial side, and I was just way too reliant on my accountant, and because they never told me about the deadline, I didn't get the authentication code, and then ended up getting a fine, which was, it was only £150. But then when we tried to appeal it, they basically said that it was the director's responsibility, and then that's just when it really like hit home that I have to take control here. I can't act dumb and be like, oh, I didn't know, because they just don't see it like that, because you sign everything. And I'm kind of like on a journey now where I'm really trying to learn the serious side of running a business, because obviously on Instagram you just see all the fun side, you see all the kind of the making money and doing hair reels and stuff like that, but then there is a more serious side that if you don't quite get it right, you can get into serious trouble. So I am still learning myself. So if you have any tips or anything, then please leave the comment in the below. And I think that it's they just don't teach these things in school. So I mean, I'm nearly 32 this year, and I'm only just kind of getting to the point where I'm really questioning like what I actually learn in school. Like, we spent 11 years there, 9 hours a day, 8 hours a day, and don't know any kind of life skills. So I'm basically kind of unlearning everything that we learned in school, like what pi means and algebra, and actually learning the real things about life, about debt, about investments, and everything like that, really. So I really hope that you can join me on my journey. So I'm really excited about kind of learning as I go. As I say, a lot of this is quite new to me. Organisation does not come naturally to me at all. I'm not a paperwork kind of girl. I'm definitely more hands-on. I prefer to be behind the camera, so even this is out of my comfort zone. But as I say, ever since everything with the pandemic and the way the world's changing, I just think it's why not, really, just kind of learn everything that you can yourself. And yeah, I'm really excited about kind of learning on the job, basically. So as I say, if you've got any tips, then please share them. If you have any fun apps or anything that is good for kind of consolidating everything, then that would be really useful to everyone as well. So obviously I'm a hairdresser and makeup artist. I am completely freelance. So this is like a really simple kind of version, because obviously I don't have a salon, I don't really have a lot of overheads, but I do have a lot of expenses. So let's get started with a simple guide to expenses. So as you can see, I have gone into the numbers tab on iMac and opened up a new kind of, I think it's like a max version of Excel, but obviously it works the exact same. So here I've done the income, obviously all my different types of income that I've got coming in, and then obviously these are completely made up numbers, and I'm going to be filling this out all the way throughout the year. So this whole thing really is just to kind of compare each month, and then obviously down here we've got the money going out, which I'm going to kind of fill in just made up numbers here, and then I'm going to show you how to add up as well. Go down and fill out all my expenses. So this is exactly where you would go through all your receipts, and I really like to write it down physically on a piece of paper first and then add it all up, kind of, well, you don't even need to add it up, you just, well, yeah, you do actually. So basically, if you get all your receipts from the month, if you fill up your car obviously once a week, that's about 4 receipts that you should have. Obviously keep all your receipts in a file. And I mean, I was doing it with an app called Dext. It used to be Receipt Bank, and I just found it really like kind of confusing, because you would submit your receipt and then you would just never see it again. So then I just kind of chucked all my receipts away. But now I'm kind of going back to basics. I need all them receipts back, because in order to do my 21 to 22 tax return, I'm going to need all those receipts back. So it is something obviously that I'm looking into doing now. So here, just type in the pound sign, and then I'm just going to put in 200, so that would be like £50 a week. I wish, but there we go. So I'm just kind of putting in hypothetical figures. I actually was paying £96 a month for my accountant, which I'm not going to be doing anymore, just because of going through this technique. That's just something that I have learned, is that when you kind of go through absolutely everything, you realise like what's really necessary and what's not necessary. So and things where you can kind of cut down on. So I mean, it's really easy to kind of think, oh yeah, it's only £5 a month, it's only £6 a month, it's only £29 a month. But at the end of the day, it's that all that money adds up, and then you kind of get to the point. I got to the point where I was spending about £400 a month just on random things that I'd just kind of forgotten to cancel or whatever. So this is really good for going through and actually seeing what's completely necessary in your expenses. Done software. This is anything from like video editing software or anything that's additional to your website. I have done a separate one for your website, but things like Canva can go in here. I pay like £10.99 a month for Canva, which is literally absolutely amazing. And yes, like insurance, that this could be public liability insurance. I had a aesthetics insurance at the time, so I'm going to obviously put that in there, because if you think all this can kind of, some of it can be claimed back. So stuff like your car payment, there's 2 different options in order to be able to claim your car payment back. It can either be done through the mileage, or it can be done through the fuel. So obviously seek proper financial advice on this, and obviously if you have got an accountant, then they can best add up the numbers and make sure that everything works in your benefit. Expenses for February, these are made up numbers, but you kind of get the gist of it. So obviously with this, if there are things that you didn't pay one month but you did obviously another, just obviously leave that one blank. So how you add all these up now, which was the main thing that kind of confused me at first, but yeah, so basically you just click in here, you do the equals sign, and then the way I do it, there is like a shortcut to do it, but I just prefer to do it like this, and you literally just add them all the numbers up that you want to add, and then it just gives you a definite account, a definite number then. So there we go, that's my expenses for the month. So I have gone on obviously on the high side with these expenses just to kind of give you an idea. So when you're looking at this now, you could kind of look and think, right, where can I kind of cut things down, cancel anything, and then obviously usually you would put in your earnings up here as well, so then you could compare them and see how much then you've got left over, how much you would like to put back into your business, how much you want to save, how much you want to then put into investments as well. I'm not sure what kind of situation you're in with the investments, but it is a really good idea. I am going to be doing some more videos on things like that as well, just on what I've learned so far. And that's what's so good about this channel, is I am just a complete amateur, and I pride myself on just always never stopping learning. I think that you're never too old, obviously you can make a lot of mistakes, and I have made a lot of mistakes within my business. I've wasted so much money on kind of doing the wrong things and just being careless really. But as I said at the beginning, it is ever since the pandemic and being in a situation where I wasn't allowed to work, it's really just made me kind of think very differently about money. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. As I say, it is very basic, and I will be going into more detail obviously the more that I learn. If there's any other better ways that there are to do it, then I'm definitely going to be kind of going through a journey really doing that. So yeah.